enhance the viewing experience.
Wait, Sean, relax.
What are you talking about?
You killed the
You're
fucking
going
puppy.
so fast.
Oh,
It's just like you were so upset he killed the puppy. You just didn't want
I
to
am
talk
so
about
upset. That's the worst part of the fucking movie is the puppy died. I was so upset. I'm like, well, Kim will never watch this movie. Like, what writer pitches Hollywood be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill a motherfucking puppy in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and that's going to be the predicate for him to kill 400 fucking people. Oh,
Super
See?
cute puppy.
Somebody
now you let it out of your system. Do you feel better now?
I'm sorry. It was really built up inside of me. The fact that the puppy died, like, why couldn't it be on life support the whole movie?
I wish it was a cat.
Literally, I'm sorry. Hey, you watch your fucking mouth.
Wheelchair.
Lost a leg. Maybe lost a leg.
No, he's got the little wheelchair. I love it.
Welcome to the final host pick of season 3 of 3.5 Gentlemen, the podcast, where 3 of the 4 hosts provide a refined and intellectual analysis of movies from our private collections, and one of us who tries desperately to keep up. We'll let you decide which host is which, but for now, my name is Sean, and with me, as always, are my co-assassins, Jeremiah.
What up, yo? Consider this as a professional courtesy.
Eddie.
The fucking boogeyman, bro.
And Brandon.
Give me 2, Utah. Give me 2. Wrong movie. That's Point Break. We don't know which one's worse.
This season we've decided that each host will pick a film from each decade from the 70s to today that exemplifies that time period. Some of the films will be underrated, some classics, while others will be overrated piles of cinematic crap. To finish off each decade, the hosts will have a group pick that is sure to wrap up the decade in style. As with every review we give, our goal is to answer one simple question. How many drinks does it take to get through the film we've just watched? At the end of the podcast, we'll rate the movie based on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being the perfect film that you can watch stone cold sober, and 5 being the sort of film that makes you want to steal a car and kill a puppy simply to draw out the wrath of a former assassin.
You okay now? You feel better now?
I'm good. No, I feel good. Okay. I'm good. In addition to our review, we always pair our selection with a cocktail that we hope will enhance the viewing experience. So please feel free to shake, stir, or mix that cocktail that we've chosen and settle in for what we hope will be an engaging review. With that, what movie do we have gun punching its way into our review tonight, gentlemen?
Well, tonight we have our final entry into 2010's films, and this one is Jeremiah's choice. Pew, 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 pew. But he threw it up to our audience, and they settled on a John Wick double freaking feature. So this evening, we're going to be reviewing 2 films for the price of 1, with 2 separate reviews just for you guys. In John Wick 1, we are introduced to the titular character, fresh off the loss of his beloved wife, and having retired from the employ as an assassin. After a chance encounter at a gas station, the son of a Russian crime boss attacks Mr. Wick at home, steals his Mustang, and kills his baby brand new dog. Sean, you okay?
That his wife gave him.
We got to put that there.
For his birthday.
This sends Wick on a bloody trail to revenge, aided by his friend Marcus, played by the one and freaking only Willem Dafoe. Which, by the way, I just watched Spider-Man again, and that's a fucking great movie. We should talk about that one tonight. Anyway. Now, in Chapter 2, fresh off his revenge escapades from the first chapter, John Wick is drawn back into the business of assassins by the cashing in of a chit or a gold marker, compelling Wick to once again take up his violent occupation, which he is damn fucking good at. The shoot-'em-up action film, shoot-'em-up? I would say shoot 'em up. Action film shares an equivalent rating of 7.4.
Well, you didn't write it, did you? I wrote it.
I'm trying to tell you about IMDb. It's rating at 7.4. With the first film achieving a critic score of 86% and an audience score of 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the second film achieving a critic score of 89% and an audience score of 85%.
Yep. That makes sense.
I don't agree with you. The film series sports a star-studded cast that includes Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, also known as Morpheus. Anybody get that reference?
Oh, okay. A Matrix
Ian
reunion.
freaking McShane, who just basically makes the Deadwood series. If you haven't seen that, go watch that. John Leguizamo and Lance Reddick.
I will say this.
And
Willem Dafoe.
Well, and William Dafoe.
Common. That's something else we have in common.
This is the first time, though. I will say this.
Too.
Yeah, Ruby Road. But this is the first time that I've seen John Leguizamo in a role that hasn't made me want to just stop the movie. So that's a positive aspect
that one movie,
Jeremy,
help me out with that one movie that we saw with him in it that he was fucking amazing. He was a little short. I can't remember what it was.
You mean Moulin Rouge?
God, what a movie!
Hey, listen, the listeners really enjoy that movie.
I really enjoyed that movie, Sean.
Is that why I stopped the movie so many times? Probably because of him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he was very irritating. Jeremiah, go ahead and take us through first impressions.
That's a horrible John Leguizamo.
Really good one. Actually.
I can't believe you just did that right
I
there.
heard it.
Before we get into our cocktail selection, we need to talk about whose film this is, and additionally, what our initial impressions of this movie were before sitting down to watch it. Since this is technically Jeremiah's film, Jeremy, why did you add this list of the movies to be chosen from? Let's put it this way. This had a lot of going actually not to be chosen because we had a lot of horror films, and this one somehow made it to the top. Thank goodness, because Sean would have had to watch some really scary horror movies that he would actually have been complaining about.
I will not watch scary movies. I look at. We did it last season. I'm still having freaking nightmares over it. I still see him in the middle of the night. So
I was told, Sean, I was told to choose some of my favorite scary movies of the 2010 decades, and
you chose literally the most scary movie on the planet? The
How
Conjuring?
do you know it is? You
literally the most scary movie out there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You saw the trailer.
Anyway,
I thought it was funny. So, by the way, folks, what it comes down to John Wick is that it set a high bar for action films. I think it launched a blockbuster franchise of a tiny budget of a film, and also gave Keanu Reeves kind of like a career comeback, Yeah, and it also made it one of the biggest action stars of the world. So, I mean, with this movie, this actually changed that way how we see action films, and I thought it was really cool to actually talk about it, because everything now is trying to be like John Wick, how it's done and how it's directed and the style of it. So that's why I chose this film.
Eddie, how about you?
So my first impression, I was excited to watch this again. I remember it being action-packed, and it is a very action-packed movie. So if you like action, this movie is all for you. You get all of it and a fucking bag of potato chips, and you get your cake and you can eat it too at this movie with action-packed. This is an action-packed galore movie. Like, I think the first movie, he killed 84 people alone, and then the second movie, he killed like 128 or something.
Yeah, he just doubled it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. People who killed his dog and his house and pretty much, like his car. Like, come on, bro. He's already on the thin edge.
He deserved it.
He's retired. Why wake up the sleeping giant?
Brandon?
I was excited though. Super excited.
Fuck. Okay. So I was genuinely excited.
You never watched it, right?
I've never seen it. I've seen trailers for it, and I knew it was a revenge thriller, action-packed fucker. And holy shit, yes, it was. You know what? I got desensitized to killing about 4 minutes into the movie. And so it all was just a blur of just headshots. But let me just tell you, that guy, he can hit his target every single time, except for the one target he wants to hit. And the guy's running there in a freaking pool, and he can't hit the guy. Oh, I see Halloween this season.
Oh, are you talking about the nightclub scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, no, I was actually genuinely excited, excited out of my mind to see the first one, because I was like, it's a movie that went under the radar for me. I didn't see it when it came out. Then I saw it, and then I actually texted Sean up, and I was like, how am I going to make it through Wick 2? So let's do this thing. Sean,
but you don't like guns,
don't.
do
He doesn't like
Give me
guns.
a
He doesn't like
fucking bow and arrow
films.
movie.
I get it.
I get it. You
know,
like this movie. You don't like
bottom
Keanu
I
Reeves.
love
line-
Keanu Reeves. Don't you watch your mouth?
Bottom line
Sean,
is
go.
Brandon doesn't.
You don't like Keanu Reeves.
I don't like.
If there's a good movie out there, Brandon doesn't like it. That's his rule. Anyway, I had never seen.
You like
I had never seen the movie. It's very rare that I go a whole series that I haven't seen, right? So like this is now we're coming up to movie 4. We're being released next year. And it's like I haven't seen a single one of these movies. Like how is that possible?
You spent all your time watching
I was
Star
really
Trek.
looking forward to it. Well, it happens when you have good taste. So last season we talked about doing John Wick, so I bought John Wick 1 and 2. So I had 1 and 2. I haven't watched them. I sat down actually today and back-to-back binged both John Wick and the second one, chapter 2. And so really super excited. There's a lot of death. There was a lot of cold looks at the screen, but I was really excited to watch it, and I really am kind of looking forward to this review because I know Brandon is going to trash it for an hour and a half.
I did say that I wanted us to be less all on the same page and loving things, so this is good.
Eddie, why don't you take us through the cocktail?
Yes. Let me just do it. I would like to start with the movie. But first, let's talk about, as we mentioned earlier, with each movie, we try to pair the tone, feel, and overall impact of the story with a cocktail. This season, we really want to discuss the cocktail and more, and how it links up to the movie selection. Everyone who listens knows when we watched a Bond movie, we paired it with a vodka martini shaken not stirred with a lemon peel. But tonight's cocktail was chosen none other by Jeremiah, so he'll be taking us through the cocktail. That's a fucking good one. Let's talk about this. Talk about this pencil.
Ladies and gentlemen, so tonight's cocktail is called With the Fucking Pencil Cocktail. Sorry. I had to do it when he says it. I think it's the funniest thing.
It was more Italian than Russian.
Yeah. Really?
But you know what? In the second one, it was Italian, so it works. I'm with you, Jer.
No, he was Russian, bro.
No, I know.
He was Russian.
Yeah.
Both Russian.
Peter Stormer was Russian. Anyway, continue, Jer. Continue.
Which obviously plays off now infamous non-traditional style John Wick uses to assassinate his victims with his goons or whatever. I mean, it's pretty hardcore, yo. So like John Wick, the drink is focused, it stays on target, and it gets to the point.
I get it.
Nice. To make with a fucking pencil cocktail, you just need bourbon because that's all he drinks in the fucking movies and whatnot. Bitters, cherries, stabbed with a good old number 2 for a garnish. That's a number 2 pencil, by the way. For the complete recipe, visit our website at thegentlemanpodcast.com or on our Instagram page at the.gentlemanpodcast.
The dot means a lot.
The dot means a lot.
Honestly.
All right. So before we really get into the film, I kind of want to take a moment and talk about some overarching, Brandon's going to say issues. I'm going to say, I kind of agree, but let's talk about the first film first, second film second, obviously, and try to keep it separated, but also let's just kind of go for an overall view of movie one, right? So the film itself starts with kind of this sad montage of the death of Keanu's or John Wick's wife.
I was watching Up to.
And
did anybody else feel like it was Up to?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, man, they're starting us off.
Really,
there's no words.
And I thought, ooh, this is fun and it's artsy and I love it. I
kind of got a little emotional when I saw that, actually.
His wife's name's Helen.
Yeah, like Troy.
Yeah.
Helen, okay. So Brandon, one of the things that I really want you to think about in your review, I know you're going to trash it, but you had mentioned off mic, we were talking about how the first film doesn't have, a great story.
No.
And one of the things I kept thinking about was what Quentin Tarantino said about a story. And a movie should unfold in a unpredictable way, in a way that you don't expect, and it should kind of reveal itself as it goes along.
I see.
And one of the things about this movie that I think was successful, even though it didn't have, I agree with you, it didn't have the greatest storyline in the world, was you didn't really know anything about Keanu Reeves' history or past when he kind of started moving towards, like when he started breaking the concrete and pulled out his old assassin gear, right? You really didn't know anything about it. You still really don't at the end of the movie.
It was 5 minutes into the movie, so what you're expecting to know?
No, that's not.
Eddie,
I'm not saying that, Eddie.
I understand.
I know what you're saying, but
Jared, enlighten us.
It's kind of like everyone's perspective of who John Wick is, and we get the kind of the background story of who John Wick is. Kind of released in a way like, this guy is the one who kills the fucking boogeyman. You get this kind of like ghostly type of haunting feeling, and everyone's kind of reacting out of it. Which is kind of cool how it does it. It's just slow, but that everyone's like, oh fuck. We just released the fucking
we tired?
beast.
To me, I'm just tired of the bad guy tries to make it clean and then has to get brought back in the game cliche. I mean, to me, it's just like, does it over and over and over.
Well, he wasn't brought back to the game. He
chose to go back.
Revenge, man.
I mean, it's just the return.
So one of the things, what I did love, and kind of piggybacking off what you were saying, Jeremiah, what I kind of loved was that, and I texted this to Brandon, I said, everyone seems to know about John Wick except for the audience. Like, everyone knows how bad he is. Everyone knows he's dangerous. The cop knows. Like, all these fucking people know about all these stories except for the audience. And it's almost like we're riding along and we have no fucking idea, what the dangerousness of this character.
Cool. It's cool to see that. Let me build off that. It's like you're peeling off an onion. Like, this character has, it's not going to tell you everything within the first, 30 minutes, probably until the very end of the movie. Every different chapter is like, you peel off another layer of like stories about this guy. Unfortunately, I understand with Brandon, like it is a lot of like action. Like, it's just in your face. You want to slow down a little bit and take a breath. Like, what the fuck? He goes from one fight scene to another. But I love how like his character. It was good to see an action-packed movie that like they had his character almost hidden, but like how Sean was saying, like everyone knows about this guy. He's the boogeyman. Like he is the person. I like it as like it's like a mob movie, but like a refreshed mob movie that you don't get to see like people in suits of like old school style like around the table, but it's like this underground mob that it's a super cool lifestyle that no one knows about, and it's like Continental was really cool to walk into, and we don't do business here. Like that was cool. They had like rules for their assassins.
I agree with that idea. Shrek, that was a really good idea with the onion. Yeah.
Like,
Sure,
I like it because you see a man like John Wick, and he has like he's just soulless, no soul. He's like this ghost, but it also plays out like a spaghetti western. He's like this person that just comes into the town, comes into like different type of situations. Everyone is watching him. Everyone's waiting for him to do what he needs to do and everything like that before he draws his first gun and everything like that. And it is kind of slow in the beginning of it because the first part of the action doesn't happen until the home invasion. And when you actually get the first introduction of John Wick and see how fucking dangerous a badass he is, where he takes care of like 20 people and everything in the span of like 2 minutes. And when you were watching it, you're just like, fuck, it's just headshot, breaks a guy's neck backwards.
Best fucking marksman I've ever seen in my life.
It's fucking crazy.
Let me just ask you real quick.
But that's like the first introduction. It's like a Western.
Let me ask you real quick though. Why are they wearing masks if they're just going in to kill him? Like, get better vision.
In case he has ring.
That's true.
In case he has the ring and like it's on.
That is really cool. That is my bit. Oh, by the way, we'll happily be sponsored by Ring Video Doorbells. Yes. They're fantastic. No, but
security.
Brandon, I'll build off of what you said, and then I want to talk about something else too, which is he kills 88 people in the first fucking movie.
Don't give him too much credit.
84, and nobody sees any of the deaths. Nobody's worried about it. No cops are getting called. The FBI isn't investigating. He's fucking like, okay, one cop, one fucking cop.
Because it's taking place in the underworld, man.
Yeah, in the second one, he's on the fucking subway killing people and the shit.
Oh, that shit was so fucking great. Come
anyway,
on.
I'm not going to go there yet, but I'm like, this guy is literally running through a bathhouse killing people. There's no cops. There's no FBI. There's no choppers. Like this, it's just no security. Anyway, it's just that part above it.
Seems like, right? It doesn't. They do know who he is, and so it's kind of feel like the cop was like, You're still retired, right? I just happened to call to your house. I hope you're retired. I don't want to do anything.
The smartest guy in that fucking movie, by the way.
Yeah, the cop.
Brandon, I do want to get to the Continental because that's the only good part of the whole freaking movie. Eventually, we'll get there.
Well, so this is I'm going to ask you this question, and I think this should impact your score, but I'm not going to say that. Okay. Did as bad as you thought this movie was, did it make you want to know more about the world of John Wick?
Okay, I'm going to say this, and then I do want to look at the movie because I don't hate it. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. It was just not good.
Mummy 3.
I don't know. I think I'd probably still go pay money to see that. Anyway, so I do want to talk about it because Eddie, in the middle of his Shrek riff about the onion and peeling back layers, you mentioned something that to me was the best part of the entire two movies. I know we're not going to talk about the second one, but it's the world of the assassins. I thought that was really cool. I thought that it was really I love the Continental. I love Ian McShane because I love Ian McShane to start with. And
so your answer is yes.
Yes, but here's the thing. I'll say this and then I'm going to go. Was it cool enough? Was it cool enough to save a god awful train wreck? No, that was.
Yes, it was because you know that Ian McShane alone, his character. I'm like, I want to spin off of him alone. I want to know about the Continental.
The problem is because
everything in that world.
Sean sees himself in the Continental. He wants to be part of that crew.
He would never leave.
He wants to be.
He'd be like, I don't want to hurt anybody.
I would never leave. You could eat there. You could eat there all year and not eat the same meal twice. How could you possibly want to leave?
And then you get to know a little bit more about it later with other movies.
Hey,
don't. You get
We're
a tasting. You get a little tasting.
And there's a Continental in different countries. What the?
And they all have their versions of Ian McShane who all look similar to him.
Fucking rad.
And then if we go against them, like we found out Mrs. Perkins, right? She went against down the road. She went against. You can't kill someone in the Continental, right? So if you listen to this,
I love it.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Right. So,
and then all of a sudden we make an exception for him at the end. I'm going to give you an hour.
She
didn't get an hour. Jesus.
Oh, no. That's what Parabellum's about, by the way, just so you know.
Exactly. Yes, there is a reason why he did that, by the way.
And Mrs. Perkins is not.
Okay. So I totally made you acquiesce to the fact that it opened you up into this world and you want to see more of it.
I don't want to see
that
more,
alone should get you excited. Yes, you do. You know you want to see. If there was a movie, Brandon, right now. Hold on. Stop. If there was a movie called The Continental and it came out in 2023, you know you guys would be in the
I might actually go buy tickets right now in Fandango. Yeah.
The hotel manager is badass too.
Would you say this movie had like a graphic novel vibe, but it was not really a graphic novel vibe? You know, it just had like a comic book vibe in a lot of ways.
Frank Miller without being a Frank Miller, it really did.
No, because here. Okay, so I know we're not talking about 2. 2 is a whole train wreck for a whole nother reason. But what I liked about 1, and I'm stretching here for you guys, is I liked that it was grounded in some form of reality. And I know I say that with a whole lot of like leeway, but. It didn't to me. 2 did. 2 felt much more graphic novel-y, comic booky. They were playing, I think, I don't want to say for laughs, but they were playing for a little bit more lightheartedness with, like when he goes to the gun dealership and they're like, oh, what was the thing he was asking? Oh, what wine? No, it's wine. What was it?
That interaction was fucking great. But to me, just like talking about
stretching reality into a more graphic novel-y, comic booky feel. The first one, I felt like it was gritty, real instead of anything else. I don't know. What do you guys think?
But the beginning of the film, like when my buddy Jared told me about this film, and I was like, dude, it looks like the fucking Transporter. I don't want to see this movie, like when it first came out, John Wick. And then he kind of told me like, no, he goes out revenge. Like, oh, cool. But his family died. No, they killed his dog. I'm like, oh, are you okay? Well, I'm fucking in. It's like the start of the movie, when you think about it, is like kind of fucking out there, and you just have to go with it because he's out for revenge from
a fucking car. I mean, Brandon, they stole his car and they killed his dog, and he kills 84 fucking people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how more realistic you want.
Yeah, it's like it goes out the fucking window right there, man.
When Joseph is saying to his dad, "I just killed his puppy and took his dog or took his car," I'm sitting there the whole time going, "Yeah, that's all you did." Jesus Christ. I'm on Joseph's side.
Yeah, and you know what? No, you know what? That was a proportional, appropriate response to the murder of an innocent puppy.
But you get the idea from John.
Yeah,
imagine if it was a cute dog.
Like, where do you get this fucking car? He said, "Where do you get this car from?" He's like, "Get this car in my fucking lot." Like, I don't give a shit. I don't have to.
Eddie, we don't talk about.
I don't want John Wick after me.
This is what I'm talking about though. And I think Eddie hit on it perfectly. Where you have this onion, right? So you've got John Wick, who you don't know anything about. Then he goes he gets his car stolen. They go to John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo has a disproportionate response to what you're expecting. He's like, who did you kill the owner? Oh, you killed his fucking dog. I'm going to hit you in the face. Then you have the head of the mob call John Leguizamo, like, you hit my son. Can you explain why you hit my son? He's like, well, they killed his dog. He's like,
and he goes, oh. He goes, oh.
Okay, hands up. Okay.
And he tells a story. He tells a story, right?
Of the
and
pencil.
Then the fucking pencil. And the son goes, I can take care of that. And he goes, did he not hear the fucking word I just said? And he's like, you're fucking dead.
So how did Mayhem? I thought of the Goodfellas part. I think it was a pencil. Wasn't it a pencil?
That's the joke.
It was with Casino.
Casino. Okay. Casino. Yeah, I was thinking Casino. Yeah.
How did Mayhem get in the movie? Is my question, because his little assistant was the guy who plays Allstate Mayhem.
In English, please.
On your phone under the. That's all I can think
God,
about the
it
whole
was
fucking
He
him.
actually
movie.
got fucked up in, just like in Mayhem.
Was it the same actor?
He also played like the Vulture. Yeah, he also played the Vulture on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's funny. He's a funny guy. He's a good actor.
So I do like
Winters.
how the main Russian guy.
Why is it always Russia?
Vigo.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm just going by what the movie told me. So, but I like how he called somebody like a hitman. He put a hit on it and to Marcus, right? And Marcus, this whole time, I remember.
Marcus is dope.
And Marcus is fucking dope. Because at first you think like, oh, Marcus was trying to shoot John Wick in bed, but then as you start to realize, like, oh, Marcus is helping John. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
that's pretty dope. Like how, like that's how
Greenland
much.
bad guy or an Iceland bad guy. Why Russia?
First of all, nobody knows where Greenland and Iceland are.
And they
Everyone
usually
knows
get it
where
mixed
Russia
up, by the way.
Yeah, well, because Greenland's full of ice and Iceland's full of green. So
That's
I mean,
true.
I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
okay, Mighty Ducks
Mighty
too.
Ducks taught me that. Yeah, Mighty Ducks taught me that too.
Oh, okay, but Brandon, I'm going to ask you this too. So hold on, you got Ian McShane's character, which I think
Hands down.
we can arguably say is the most interesting character in the movie.
Yeah.
So he calls John Wick Jonathan. Don't you have this image in your head of a young boy who was brought into who was on the street and they brought him in and Ian McShane trained him and he turned out to be Keanu Reeves? Like, don't you have that in your mind?
You need to watch part 3. That's all.
Thank
All
you.
I gotta say is
Oh,
I
part
probably
three is good,
won't.
dude.
So you can ruin
you
it
get
for
more
me.
Winston.
Oh Jesus! I'll have to see it just
Get
for
more
Winston.
Winston.
Really? Oh, come on. I know you're going to be
I'll
about it.
probably
Look,
watch
like,
it.
I know
Fucking Winston
secretly
is the
he wants
best. Oh, of course he will.
I'll probably watch it.
Let's talk about the first night. Let's talk about the first nightclub fight sequence because I think it's just fucking
Seriously
crazy.
though, how does he not shoot
I mean-
the one guy he wants to shoot?
No, I think he wanted him. He liked the chase right there. He looked at him. He's like, "Run, motherfucker!" Like I don't want to kill you right now. I want you to fucking get scared. Like
I want to know how no bystanders
Not
got
a
shot at
single
all
one.
either in that whole fucking
Because
movie.
because of
only-
professional shooters.
Okay, he is, but not everyone else. Everyone else is like a hired stormtrooper. Who knows who the fuck they're
They
shooting
didn't
at?
even get a chance to shoot their guns. Every time they were trying to go closer,
I
he's
do
like,
agree with that. It's like no one else died. Only bad people died. Like
okay, I'll definitely agree with you guys. Like seriously, like there's a big shootout going on here and everything,
would've been
and
nice
all of
to
a sudden
see a
everyone's
couple,
still
like-
fucking dancing,
Yeah.
and everyone's just like, yeah, it's part of the show and shit. I'm like, what are
people
you guys
watching
all
them.
fucking
That's your
mollies?
EDM
They,
people.
if you watch people die, it's like
It was
Yeah,
EDM
okay.
style shit.
Listen, all I'm saying is
he just
and I
died.
like
I'll give him this, and I appreciated this because every time I see like a hitman or whatever movie, and they shoot somebody in the leg, and then all of a sudden they die, and I'm like, he's not dead. John made sure that they were dead. I've never seen so many heads explode with a
He
sniper.
double tapped the shit out of
Oh my
everyone.
God.
Like, just making sure,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna shoot you. Like, and
listening to
I swear to God, he shot himself in the feet so many times because he's always got their head between the ankles. And I'm like,
He has them in a
watch your
headlock.
toes, like, mother.
He
you
has
must
them in
have-
a
How many
headlock.
times did he flip a guy? We're getting into two.
Kills
Into
everyone.
two. He flipped a guy over his head probably, I don't know, 16 times. That was his takedown move.
Brandon, you need to watch the training.
You gotta watch his
Keanu
training,
Reeves
dude.
went. Yes, the training,
He
the combat
went-
training.
yeah.
Just type in Keanu Reeves combat training for
Right.
John Wick. It's
So
intense.
Fucking insane. It's
You have
so
to-
fucking insane, dude.
You have to kind of admit part of what Jeremy said at the beginning is that this movie kind of, and I think that they did steal it from Kingsman, the Secret Service a little bit, which came out in February of 14. This came out in November of 14. So it's, I don't
They
know
just
which came
released-
first.
They just released
I don't
earlier.
know.
Doesn't mean
I don't know which came first, but they have very similar styles that I think definitely revolutionized the way the action movie is filmed. The fact that he's using his
I
gun.
still think James.
no,
but
Brandon,
I
I mean,
think that Jason Bourne. I think that Jason Bourne started.
Okay,
this.
but you could.
I like that.
No, for sure. I mean, James Bond started it, so
Well,
you're
yeah,
going to
but-
go there. But my point is, this movie successfully reinvented a portion of the gunfight in a very
It did it
interesting
in an
way. The other thing
R-rated
that they
way, is
did,
what it did.
but they also moved the camera without getting me sick, which I think was very brilliant. Number
Very nice.
2 or 3, wherever point I'm on, there was blood splatter that occasionally came onto the camera, and it wasn't like distracting or gratuitous, but it actually like improved the shot. Like, I don't know how they did it, and it only probably happened like 5 times, but it made it look so fucking
Yes.
cool.
With how many deaths there were, you realize it's like you weren't really like grossed out like as you would think.
Right.
Like it was really cool martial arts with guns. And
It's
Is he related to Wolverine?
It's a style that
though?
you've never
Because
seen
how does he
before,
not
actually.
get hurt just a little bit more.
Well, no, he's
Dude,
got a
he-
suit that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
fucking bulletproof.
I
like,
thought
I
saw
mean,
that.
Dude, don't you see the end of the movie? He's fucking beat the fuck up, man. He's
Actually, at the very beginning of the movie.
This type of film, like it literally, like it actually mirrored other films to try to do the same thing. Like if you didn't have this film, you wouldn't have Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2, Kate, even the TV shows like Daredevil and like Punisher. They all kind of use this type of a film style regarding to like very like hardcore martial arts, weapons, and things like that. I mean,
and very graphic, reality-based like stunts, not and like. And I didn't mean to cut you off, Jeremiah, but like you're talking about with Daredevil, right? You could actually feel the pain of the people in the fight, like they were both getting hit appropriately.
And he literally did 90 to 95% of his own stunts in these movies. He literally will work out 8 hours a day, 4 months straight, just regarding to weapons and martial arts. I mean, that whole like that nightclub scene. He did it with 104 degree, allegedly, like, he was sick, and he did it with one take. He memorized all the moves. Like, dude, I mean, I know it's kind of crazy in the shots and the movies and everything, but Keanu Reeves, like, seriously changed how to become an action star. He is like our new action star in a lot of ways now.
He's an amazing person. I love him. He's a bad actor, but man, he's so fucking likable, and he's so good at being what he is. He's just so fucking likable. And I agree. I think that he's likable here.
Well, see, that's my problem. Like you said, Brandon, you said there's no story development. I don't really care about John Wick. I care about Keanu Reeves. Yeah. And I agree with you that you don't really know enough about John Wick, but you know enough about Keanu Reeves where you're like, oh man, I just like him. Like, I think he's just a legitimately good person. Be honest.
I watched this. I was
well, he killed 84 people, but okay.
I wanted to go watch all the Bill and Ted's again, just to watch him again. So I agree. Yeah, there's something.
You definitely, Sean, you got the idea of like how I think it was Ian McShay. He was like Jonathan. Like he was the dad that they molded. This, like, don't just be killing people out there. Like, it's a profession. Like, that's why the other black guy that was in, like, do I know you? Like, oh yeah, hey. Like, he knows everyone in the business. So I like how Keanu was fit for this role with, like, almost like just a badass, like, doesn't talk much, but also almost like will beat the fuck out of you, but also like he wants, like, just treat me well and I'll treat you well. It was just cool.
Well, and he respected his fellow assassins. I think that's what you're. And if you look, so one of the things that I keep saying that, but let's dive a little bit deeper into the hotel, which is called the
Continental.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into that, because I think that was the kind of the shining parts of the movie a little bit, where you have the coin system, right? Mm-hmm. And when he breaks your concrete and you have, like, he's got thousands of coins, and you wonder how he got the coins. Like, how does that system work? Is it like a wanted system, which I thought was a really bad movie? This one was, not bad. It was not fantastic, but it wasn't like
Wanted was horrible.
How does the system work? How does the Continental work? Is there levels to the Continental? He's on level 8. Mm-hmm. Does that mean he's at the top? Like, I just want to know more about this world. And I really want to get into the assassins.
So the boss trying to tell you, is like, I gave him this impossible feat to get out of the, how to get out, and he accomplished
bodies
it.
He laid down that day laid a foundation we're standing on. I fucking love that scene right there when he's talking about that, man. But it actually gives you more of an insight of the Continental on the second film. This kind of gives you an introduction. They didn't even expect this movie to be that successful when it first came out. Then it just blew up and everything. And then they explore the Continental and that side of the world on the chapter 2, and then in chapter 3 it goes international.
Well, so many fans wanted the Continental. That's why they brought in the Continental. Like, they heard the request, like, let's go dive into this shit. Like, this shit's badass. Let's see more of this.
Yeah, and I agree. It's like the Continental. It makes it's like this underground world, and you just want to know more about it. And it kind of like tiptoes around it, the rules, what's going down here, and everything like that. I've
always loved that idea of the honor among thieves kind of thing, and I think that it does it really well. And I think that what it does, and Sean, you've been talking about it, is it piques our interest enough to make the maybe not diehard watcher really kind of interested. And I'll be honest, I was interested in that world. And I think that not just Ian McShane, because I think he's awesome, but the front deskman, who's the only, comic relief that we have. And it's not, it's not really comedy, but it's still kind of funny-ish, he does a really good job. He's got that straight face, straight-laced kind of way.
A lot of dryness.
And so I think that it does really good there. I just think that we need some more purpose driving the first one. And I do think that we get that in the second one. I know we're not talking about it just yet, but the reason I like the second one better than the first one is because there's actually there's skin in the game. You know, there's a reason for it. You can tell that first one was kind of just a just a shoot 'em up revenge movie. They weren't expecting to do a sequel. You could just see that at the end. And then with the second one,
it sort of felt like the first one sort of, the first one sort of felt like a vehicle to show off the cool
that's
fighting.
exactly what it was. Yeah.
I almost took it backwards. Like I thought part one had more of a story of like a reason. Like his wife just died, and the wife's the reason why he got out of the business, right? 4 years. So, and then like he didn't want to be back in. Until the one thing that he was, he loved her enough to quit the business. The business is all he knew.
He only had the dog for a day and a night.
Died. It's what your wife just gave you before she died.
It was after she died.
That has nothing to do.
It was a day and a night, Sean.
Yeah.
I would kill it. And
let me just tell you, if you think
for death, if someone happened to Obi and shit like that. So I think I would do that.
I mean, setting that aside, Brandon.
Yeah. He was grieving.
Look at some subtext. The movie wasn't about the fact that they killed his dog.
And he even tells you though they took his grieving away. Like he was grieving, and they attacked.
Let's talk about the subtitles. Can we? Every once in a while, let's just go ahead and throw.
I love
the subtitles. I thought it was so graphic novel. Great. I thought they were cool, so graphic novel. I love it.
I thought they were unique and fresh and different. I mean, I
had to check my TV.
I watch movie.
I'm not gonna lie, I had to check my TV. I was like, wait, did I accidentally click something?
Well, so I watch movies with subtitles because I can't hear shit.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult because they showed up right in the same area as the. So I will say that was a little bit of a shortcoming.
I like how the boss in the first one, he's like trying to like talk John into sense, like, let's not actually go back to our old ways, John.
Yeah.
And he hangs up, and the guy goes, "What do you say?" Enough. It's just like the dialogue is just dry. It doesn't go fucking hardcore and whatnot.
So my problem with the movie, and we've talked a lot of good things about the movie. I mean, the movie is lacking in a couple of areas that I think we owe it to our audience to talk about. Number one is character development.
I love her.
There is no character development.
Tom Brady's wife?
I mean, ex-wife? I mean,
well,
messed up. You're better off without him. That's all I'm saying. But God damn it, she's literally in flashbacks in both movies. I mean, give her a part. I want to hear her voice.
Nah.
Anyway,
nah. Yeah, no, she's not meant to be in this universe, man. That's why she's always in flashbacks. She's like colorful.
Yeah. It was nice to see. It was nice to see the first time where John Wick was like, okay, he had these coins. He only took a little stack. He didn't need all of them. So it was kind of funny how he knew what people like what this meant. So like to get into the bar inside the hotel, the Continental, like he went through like this passageway that was like I always wish like there was some type of bar like that. I hope there was like that in New York when we go to New York, Brandon. You better take me to like a place like that you have to have like a special knock 4 times to get into the room.
Actually 6.
It's like it was a speakeasy. It was like a speakeasy, but like a cool little like assassin only speakeasy. I liked it.
Is anyone else though kind of not understanding the proportionality of the coins? Because he gave a coin for his room, which presumably included like dinner and drinks and whatever, but he also gave a coin to get into that club. So what's the value?
He also gave like 4 or 5 coins to the gun guy. I know, second movie, but there's a lot of coins.
But he also gave 10 coins to takeout, and I love when they use takeout for the term of actually taking out dead bodies.
Amazing.
And actually,
that was funny. That was cool.
I think that was the funniest fucking thing right there, yo. It's like this universe, and they have their own language and their own things. Now we're talking about like problems with the first film. The problem that I have with the first film is the ending. It builds up, and it doesn't do it for me in the ending for something. I wanted something bigger, and it was just kind of like, let's get in a rain fight, and that was it, And
he kind of killed, the killing of the son too didn't really. It was like, I'm going to walk in and just, there you are, shoot you in the stomach, shoot you in the head. Okay, I'm going to go home.
I thought it was going to be something more like, just climax, and it just doesn't do it for me in the end.
Well, and then you had the twist, right? You had the twist of Willem Dafoe. You had the twist of like, oh, we're not done. Like the father basically gave up his son, by the way, basically, he was like, "Oh, don't kill me, kill my son."
After he had
and
no
then
other
was
choice.
pissed. Yeah. Then was pissed about it, and so he killed Willem Dafoe. And it's like, but you chose the path. Like,
Willem Dafoe went out like a
he
champ, by the way.
The son,
I love it.
and he would have killed him either way. I would have given up my kid. I'm like, sorry, buddy.
Jeez.
Oh my god, dude!
But
So, hey,
I could make another one. That's all I'm saying.
Sacrifice the lamb. Look at you, man.
If you get him at bedtime, that's the best time.
Do you tell him about the Baba Yaga?
Baba Yaga, boogeyman.
Watch out, he's gonna come with a silencer, bitch. So what about the
you guys want to talk
movie?
about chapter 2
let's
now?
talk about that second movie. Oh, somebody's at your door.
We're diving straight into the second one. Whose door is
That's
that?
not mine.
I gotta
I'm
be
sorry.
honest.
It's mine.
It's John
I'll
Wick.
put it on silent. I
Take out.
apologize. It's actually the Ring. So the Ring is a great device that
yes.
you can see who's at your
That's
door
why
from
it
anywhere in the
causes-
country.
What
if
is
you're out
this?
of town
What is this?
or at
What
home.
is
It
this
causes intruders to
So-
wear masks. Yes.
It's called the Ring doorbell.
So before we go to the next movie, anyone else thought it was kind of funny?
No.
So when he goes to the vet, right? He finally, he's like crawling up, and he gets into that one room after he has to he crashed this little car he took, and he walked into the veterinarian. It was a shelter for a dog, which I thought that was kind of a weird spot for it. But and then the dog he chose, I was like, really,
Ugly.
Like,
first
you
one
had
was
a
ugly,
choice.
too.
You had no,
Yeah.
no, it was adorable. That
No,
was my
the
dog.
first one is so cute.
You didn't see it. The dog was supposed to be it was going to be putting down. Actually, it says it on the clipboard.
Yeah, I saw that on the paperwork.
So he saves the dog.
Did anyone else feel like there was a disconnect, by the way, between the last scene where he's fighting the villain and he kills the villain, and then all of a sudden it's like, where did that SUV come from, and why is he on the side of the road? Like there was a little disconnect between
the car.
his get up, the car,
That's the car that the other guy
pulling,
that crashed into him. That was the car, the main bad guy. That's the car that he used. That's that same car.
Yeah, but it was a rain fight, and then there was no rain, and it just
was
felt
just little clouds. It was just little.
felt like there was some continuity errors here.
No, he got a free car from the
Put it on my
Continental. He got that cool car.
Yeah, but it was an SUV that he was next to when he
Which is
at the very beginning of the movie and the very end of the
Because
movie. He's laying next to an SUV.
It's the bad guy's car.
box.
So did he get in that car? Because last time we saw that SUV had pushed his car over a cliff
So
somewhere.
it's still up.
And
It's still up.
I don't know. This one was the other way against the building, so I'm not sure.
That's part of that hour
where-
that was
it
cut
just-
out.
it did
Apparently.
not
I feel
feel
like
like-
you're picking needles. I feel like you're picking
Yeah.
at it though.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, that was definitely a continuity error issue that I
The
had.
only thing is the rain. But the cars, he picked up the car that was left
The rain.
There. The car
That was really
left
some
over.
hard
He just
rain.
took the car,
East
he
Coast,
drove.
it rains a lot. I'm just saying.
You want him to see. You want to watch him get into the
I would
same car
love
and then
to
drive
see
away
him
back
actually
up
turn
and
the
drive.
keys.
I wanted to.
Let's talk about chapter 2 where he actually uses his
Feels like
car
you're
as
nitpicking.
in a kung fu way. By the
Okay,
way,
I got to ask. I got to start off Wick 2 with this question. So, what's the purpose of the first 15 to 20 minutes of him breaking in, stealing his car just to have it demolished and him kill 40 people?
Because he's going to get it back in the third one,
Obviously.
Brandon. Don't you
Bruno's
understand how
gonna
this
fix it
works?
and everyone's
you
gonna
didn't
be
get
good. I
it.
know.
Did you not miss that? Did you not miss that? He had to get his stuff that his belongings in his car. The car that the Victor's
The car was it was about the envelope. It wasn't about the car. It was
Yeah.
about the envelope
Somebody was
in
I
the
had
glove
tuned out.
box.
It was his
I had tuned
belongings.
out in the first 19 minutes. That's what it was. Sorry.
How can you tune out? The guy was literally
Subtext.
using his car as a weapon.
Oh, when the guy
before
gets
fucking-
flashed, or he gets shot
so let's-
against the freaking wall.
he gets fucking
He'd
ran
be
off.
dead. That's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah, I don't know
That's
how he
what I'm-
survives.
Oh
because
wait,
that-
his,
he's like a
his-
rag
his
doll.
suit.
Okay, so and let's just put it into viewership perspective, right? So the first 15 minutes of that movie set up his character from the first movie. So if you didn't watch John Wick 1, there was enough at the first 15 minutes of John Wick 2 that you were like, yeah, this motherfucker is amazing. He broke into this. He's in the stealth. He's killing motherfuckers left and right. He gets into a car. He's using it as like a kung fu kick and crushing people left and right. And you've got Peter Stormer, who I love, sitting behind the desk being like, this guy killed people with a pencil. You don't understand.
People, I've never seen
Who
it before.
fucking does that? It's sick.
I do like when he stops the car
Well, why don't we
with
just
the
kill
door
him?
open and the motorcyclist flies over. There's certain kills that are cool because you know what? They weren't just gunshots to the head. We got to have some diversity. That's all I'm saying. That's why I like the little
That's a good
bodies.
point. I mean-
it's so much better. So I like this so much better than like The Matrix because The
fuck
Matrix
you.
was like you had to put so much money.
No, The Matrix
I
had a
didn't, because
storyline that we could follow.
I'm on Eddie with this one, dude.
This one had
I'm on
actually-
Eddie with this one.
Okay, hold
It had a
on.
storyline.
Hold on.
It had a
hold
storyline.
on,
It had a
pause.
storyline.
I'm sorry. The Matrix had a storyline you could follow. No,
Yeah.
you could follow.
Oh,
That's
Sean.
what you just said. The
Sean,
storyline that
aka
you
the
could
host.
follow.
What you're
Listen
missing
to-
is that humans are being turned into batteries. That's all I got.
Go ahead,
Christ,
Eddie. I'm
all I'm
sorry.
saying
I
is
didn't mean to
I would
interrupt
like to
you.
listen to The Matrix, and I want to listen to Matrix and listen to Brandon on that one because I feel like he didn't
fanboy.
like that movie, and now all of a sudden, that's funny.
Now he's a fucking
No, like
Yeah.
Fanboy the
it
shit
shows
out
you
of
that
that.
you don't need to have a helicopter and all this CGI crap. This is actual like cool driving scenes and cool like old school,
Hand-to-hand combat, yeah.
like just. Can you do any of those moves, Brandon?
Yes, I
No, so
can.
shut the
I can
fuck up.
put my car into drive and put
I
my
tell you
pedal
what-
down.
Dude, 95%.
Oh, please.
95%.
Your
of the stunt was by him.
Hyundai
I no
would
longer
crumple.
I no longer have a Hyundai.
These stunt
What do I do?
scenes- These stunt scenes were all
Oh,
motivated
sorry.
by him, bro.
Jesus, I did
95%.
get
Dude,
a
it's
Hyundai.
so fucking dope, dude. Like those, I agree with you, Eddie. Like those fight scenes, hand to hand. I mean, he's literally
You're saying,
flipping
but we're
people
talking
over
about
and
the
shit like that,
story
and
of
just
a
like
movie.
breaking legs. I mean, it's
Yeah, you can do it with a movie.
we're talking about the 15 minutes.
No,
of it.
we're into John Wick 2. We're into John Wick 2.
Yeah.
The story for
It is
John Wick
much
2 is
better.
much
It is
better.
not good,
Much
though.
better.
15 minutes, you get an introduction of who John Wick is, the Baba Yaga person, and everything like that. It's like sweet, you know. And then it calms down,
Speak Russian
and
after
then guess
watching
what?
this movie.
He's
So
brought back
John Wick
in.
1 had a motive. John Wick 2, he was forced.
What?
Like, he was being forced.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, he has this guy from Italy who wants to take out his sister, which I don't understand, but doesn't matter.
It's like
and
this,
he
he gets a-
made
it's
a
like
blood.
Fredo.
I knew it
He
was
made
you.
a blood,
I knew it was
the
you.
high table, which was never explained.
The third movie, you would get to know the
Anyway,
people.
so he has this
Does
chick,
he
this
own the
golden
museum?
whatever.
That's
But-
my question.
No, it was his dad's.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
a
it was his
collection.
dad's collection.
Oh.
It was his dad. It sounded like it was
I thought
his
it was like
dad's
the
collection.
Met.
Yeah.
It's a blood oath. It's a blood marker, basically. So he's pretty much, asked a favor, and he pretty much sold his soul in all the ways. It's kind of like the Unbreakable Curse type of thing from Harry Potter and shit like that. That's what it is, basically. So he owes him something, and he's brought in to kill his sister, and then seriously get that fucking turn on him as a fucking person. He's gonna get like a bounty on his shit, where all these other fucking assassins are after him. You're literally seeing stages of how John Wick is trying to be just surviving and scavenging and everything like that. And you're seeing like how he's going to face this part and how he's going to go against this part. And he keeps fucking surviving. I love part 2. Part 2 is so fucking cool, man.
Well, and then you have Common, who I first of all did not know was an actor. Not a bad actor. I just didn't know
He's
he was an
acted a
actor,
shitload.
and I thoroughly
good.
enjoyed him.
I do.
I thoroughly enjoyed him. I don't know if
He was
I've
a
seen
good
him.
point in part 2.
But he was
enjoyable.
he had
Yeah, he made part 2.
Yeah.
he had such a presence, like a respectful, calm presence, and especially when they went into the Continental in Italy and they both got a drink, like they both knew each other's drink. Like I really liked that relationship. That
I was sad-
That aspect.
I was sad
of it.
that
Was
he's
he
not
in
in part
part 3, Jeremiah?
No, but he actually survives part 2 because, it was,
So yeah,
it was, he told them, to keep the knife in his. That whole scene, by the way, I'm going to let you know that when the shit gets thrown out to the fan and whatnot, we're going to all the assassins get like their phone bill, and you see
Badass.
He's a
John
fucking sumo
going
wrestler.
against every type of fucking assassin.
That was a cool scene. Like that, it made
That
me
was
realize, like,
fucking awesome,
there's
dude.
like, almost like this group of people was like Uber. Who's gonna get the first pickup from? Who's a pickup? It was a cool little text notification.
and the infrastructure of the Continental was so old fashioned, like the switchboarders
love
and
that.
like the
I
way
love
that that was just, to me, that's what really makes these movies unique, is that it blends ultra modern, where they're fighting in a mirror fucking weird room, ultra modern with like old fashioned 1950s technology. I think it's really
Go see
badass.
Gattaca.
That was actually kind of the throwback to
movie.
I love Gattaca. Great movie.
Enter the Dragon, by the way.
Enter the Dragon.
The director
Yeah,
kind of
You're saying-
Enter the Dragon.
Never seen that.
Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee had like this kind of in the end of the movie where he had to fight this guy, but it was like House of Mirrors and shit like that.
It was
And it was literally kind of like a throwback to that. The director wanted that scene.
I thought though with part 2 they could have had a better character. She's a good person, but I feel like they could have found someone better than Ruby Rose.
I thought she was
I'm
going to
not
be more
talking- I'm saying
badass. Actually,
I wanted her to be more
like
badass. I feel like she's a
That's what I
smack that-
thought,
like
you know?
Uma Thurman would have been badass. I don't know, or Lucy Liu, like somebody that
Well, she wasn't given enough screen time is the problem.
Yeah, so
she wasn't.
No, I don't think it was screen time. She wasn't dynamic. I agree with Eddie. She wasn't. Look at she's deaf. You know, I'm assuming in the movie she's deaf or been injured to a point where she can't hear. And first of all, I was amazed that everyone could speak sign language.
Everybody can speak.
I thought that was interesting. But the second part,
Russian,
but, but she was not. She was not. Dynamic on screen. She was not someone who was like engaging, where Common was super engaging. Lawrence Fishburne was super engaging. Keanu Reeves is engaging. Like I just need someone who's engaging. She just wasn't that.
Pencils again, which was badass scene.
Super,
that was legit scene. Like that was like a Raid 2 vibe. I don't know. It was weird with.
I agree with you on that.
It kind of brought you back into like he's really good with pencils, bro. Don't fucking around with pencils.
It literally finally like foreshadowed like finally we get to see him actually work with the pencil. And you're looking at John Wick like he doesn't need guns to kill people. He'll find a way to actually fuck you up in a way. He'll use whatever.
Well, I think at some point he used the gun that was empty and like stabbed someone in the face with it. I mean, I was like, you throwing guns at motherfuckers? Like you're killing people left, right, and center with all sorts of shit. I thought it was great.
And I agree with you guys. Like seriously, I thought Ruby Rose was going to be a bigger, like, you know, like she just didn't do anything regarding to like, you know, the final confrontation. I thought Common and John Wick, Keanu Reeves, I thought their fight scene was fucking awesome. I mean, you guys were joking, like they're literally walking the subway and they're shooting fucking silencers at each other and no one doesn't even know what's going on. Yeah. And I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. But then they really got into like the hand-to-hand combat. I thought their fight scenes and I thought they just worked well together, man.
So
I actually
the dynamic together was really good.
So her character, I don't think was really meant to be like the boss at the end of the game level, right? I think that she was just another one in the many. You know, I mean, this is a movie about him against others.
This guy could spend $7 million to kill John Wick, right? So he put a bounty out for $7 million. He had Ruby Rose as his primary protector. She should have been better. She should have been more dynamic. I will say that till the end. She was the last line of defense before you got to the boss. And the boss was not an assassin. He was just a rich kid asshole who ate duck fat. Like, I don't understand. I think he was a mixture of father and son from the first one. I think a little bit more refined.
The first one, there was a right-hand man that was actually almost killed John Wick. He was actually kind of like, you know, he was like in the same level of John Wick. And, you know, and you just didn't get that in the second one. Common was pretty good.
I thought Common should have been the head guy for this guy. That would have been cool.
They should have flipped Common and Ruby Rose. Really, I mean, that's probably what they should have done. Like that doesn't matter.
Just at the rave party, and then we went into like a Vatican,
the catacombs.
Oh my god!
So I'm pretty sure it was a Coliseum, and then it was the catacombs under the Coliseum where the slaves used to go.
That's what the guy with the keys. That's why he did all those coins, as he wanted to know ins and outs of that area. I'm guessing because above it was the place he was trying to get to. I think
I did love the question
concert,
that the Continental guy asks, and is like, "Are you here to kill the Pope?" And it's like that's the only reason he would get rid of him.
Yeah, just one question.
But that's where you got to see the Continental with his suit being tailored and it was. I loved it, and then go Sean to it.
No, you had some James Bond action. You had some Q interaction there. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a really cool addition. And one of the things that the second movie did that I think the first movie did not do is it developed the world and developed the characters to a point where you kind of got a bit like Eddie said, it's you're peeling away the layers of onion. You're getting a bigger vision of the John Wick universe. And as much as I want to hate on the movie for not being like revolutionary and amazing and wonderful, it's pretty badass that you're giving us a new, unique space in film that we can explore. I like that. I think it's cool.
I agree with you on that, Sean, because it's like Chapter 2 took everything that people loved from the first film and just made it bigger and explore more options on it and everything like that. And I think that's why Chapter 2 sits just a little higher than Chapter 1. I mean, I know I'm getting into my scores pretty soon or anything like that, but Chapter 2 just is on another level regarding to the possibilities of what John Wick is going to be and what's going to happen going forward and everything like that.
See, and this is one of my criticisms of modern Hollywood movies. Like, if you look at the Fantastic Beasts franchise, I feel like every movie is just getting you to the next movie as opposed to this movie that's taking a time world building. Like, if John Wick 2 was the end, it'd be okay. It wouldn't be the end of the world.
It leaves on a cliffhanger. I love that fucking scene, man.
But it's a cliffhanger that's manageable. It's not a cliffhanger like it's an Inception cliffhanger, not like will little Timmy get out of the will? Like it's a totally different
like that one, yeah.
Path. But number 3 and number 4, like I'm excited to see the expanded universe. I really am. I'm not expecting great things from number 3. I just want to know more. Like I just want to know what happened.
What is Parabellum?
Oh man,
was that like a code name for the
No, stop!
Okay,
I haven't seen it. Stop!
No,
I don't know.
I'm just excited for you to see it. I just want to let you know that Ian has a big part in the movie, huge part.
And
Brandon, I'll watch it, and I'll tell you to watch it.
It doesn't matter who you are. Let me just tell you this: it doesn't matter who you are. The rules are the rules. So if you kill someone in the Continental, you're breaking the rules. Even if you're John Wick.
I know that
right.
He's going to kill them.
So there's 2 rules, right? There's 2 rules. No business on company grounds, and if you have a chit, you gotta do whatever they say. You gotta kill the person.
I like.
And so
I like how
I don't mean to bounce around, but whose chit is that? Like whose chit is at the who's golden whatever at the end of the movie? Does he say,
Lawrence
you're gonna need
Fishburne.
this?
It's the high table, man. It's the high table. And that's what.
No, Lawrence Fishburne is underground.
He's underground, man.
Let's talk about him because this is. So I think that there's 2 dueling factions of assassins groups, and Lawrence Fishburne was part of this like really popular, polished Continental group, and he created his own subversive group to take down the high table. Like I feel like that's where the movie's going.
Did you watch part 3 a little bit?
I did not watch it. This is yeah.
I'm going to go into little details what that is. Like the high table is like, if you have the seat in the high table, you kind of own that whole thing. And that's why the brother killed the sister, because he gets to sit in the high table and actually try to take over it. So what happened is that Lawrence Fishburne, he was a part of it. And then he's kind of using the whole underground, like you're saying, and everything like that. But he's also trying to use a way to actually get to the high table. But it's going to go in more depths regarding to part 3 and also part 4.
So I got to ask.
I'm very excited. Brandon,
my
go ahead.
frustration comes with, I love Lawrence Fishburne. It was fun seeing Morpheus and Neo together. But honestly, what's the purpose of him going there to get a gun with 7 rounds when we all know that he could kill a fucker with a paper clip and then go steal a gun? Like, what's the purpose of it? There was no purpose for it.
No, he had to be delivered underground to the place where the villain was. Like that was the whole thing. No, he used his network. He needed a place to lie low. He needed a safe house, and you needed to bring in Lawrence Fishburne to make the story work.
He literally had to pay 7 bullets for $7 million. By the way, and when you see it, that whole museum, confrontation. You literally see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He kills 7 people, and he just goes fucking and goes from the next person and uses his ways to actually, He
could have found a manhole.
It's fucking awesome how he does it, man. It's the style of it.
As he went into the ground.
Oh, but
I love. Sorry, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Just to add a note, the reason why Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie because he literally hit up Keanu Reeves. Is like, dude, because he liked the first one so much. If you're making a second one, let me know. I will do whatever I need to do to get into this fucking film. And he got him in the film with shit.
And I love Lawrence Fishburne. There is no one cooler. Like I just the clothes. Like I could just imagine him being like, no. It's got to be like this multi-layer coat that I'm going to take off, and then I'm going to put. Did anyone else recognize this? Like I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's got the pigeons around him, and then all of a sudden he's got like the silk robe, and he sits down at this like antique desk. He's like, you could see that there's vestiges of the Continental lifestyle that he's kind of drug over into this like back alley, like down and earthy kind of movement. I just thought it was really cool. I love textures on film, and he is like the king of texture.
Let me ask you something. Now, in the end, when the final confrontation happens and he goes to the Continental Room, did you expect him to actually shoot the guy right there and then? Really?
Well, only because I knew that there was a third movie.
I didn't expect
I
that.
literally knew.
Eddie, what'd you think?
That's the only reason. Eddie, fix the camera.
No, I'm fine. But,
Eddie, what did you think, Ed?
Happen as well. Like, but I was just like, it's cool to see it twice. I watched the first time, and then the second time, I got more of Ian's reaction. Like Ian almost knew what he was going to do, but he was trying to prevent him. Like, don't do this, bro. Like, what have you done? Like I like you, and now you made my life really hard. and you're putting me in a weird predicament. So it's cool to just watch it twice and just see little reactions I didn't get to see the first time with Winston. But it made you, that whole hotel is so cool because it's like, oh, a new part. I've never seen this part. Like they're having this is like another area for drinks and, cocktail hour. I don't know. I knew he was going to get shot, and I just thought it was a pussy move from the other guy. They're like, oh, you can't shoot me here. Sorry. It's like, fucking asshole.
And that's why Sean would stay there his whole life.
He just had it in it, man.
My whole life. I would sit on that leather Chesterfield sofa that Ian McShane sits on in front of that fire. I would read my fucking newspaper with my half moon glasses. I want to be Ian McShane. I want to be Winston.
I knew it. Seriously, when I first saw it and I saw it again, was watching it over again, I'm like, look, there's Sean. I see Sean on the screen.
Season.
He's just like enjoying life right there.
I mean, that's my, like, if you said, what's your life goal? To own, what's the hotel called? What is it? The Continental. I want to have a Lance Reddick. I want like everything. I want
secret
everything.
Rooms.
I want everything
Cool
that is
shit.
there. I want coins. I want secret rooms. I want fucking the best scotch, the bourbon. I always have a drink for everyone. Like that's what I want. No business, please. No business on Continental grounds. It's just fucking awesome.
I was literally talking to
Hannah.
I was literally talking to Hannah. I was like, yeah, if we're going to New York, can we actually stay in the Continental room? And she's like, it's not a Continental room. It's a fucking restaurant. The building's a fucking restaurant. I was like, oh, are you serious? Fucking Hollywood.
I do want to talk about, I know I'm jumping to the end, but one of the coolest shots.
We should go to the Oak Bar.
Okay. One of the coolest shots
What's up?
is at the end when everybody in the park stops, turns, and we find out that every single one of them is a plant. Like that was badass. I'll give you that. That was
See, and this is, I'm sorry, this is, everyone's a fucking assassin. When the call goes out, every fourth person in Italy, assassin. Every fourth person when he's trying to get to the subway is a fucking assassin. That kind of ruined it for me because it's like, who isn't an assassin at this point? And why am I not part of this group? And where are my gold coins? And why can't I get in the Continental?
That's so fucking cool, kids. Right there and then, like, you got an idea.
Cool,
like, you didn't know how big it is. It's fucking big. And I was like, oh my God, dude. And then when he's like running away, he's like, you got 1 hour left. And he's just walking. Dude, it was like an Empire Strikes Back moment of just like, oh shit, he's going down. Like, you didn't know if he's going to survive.
more of a Dark Knight, vibe at the end.
Right, it's like,
two maybe push the limit. Like part one, it was like something new, but part two is just like, okay, it's getting like, it made you realize, okay, this is a movie. Like, and sometimes movies are supposed to like, more believable. So part two made me feel like, okay, this is really getting out there now. Like I still enjoyed the fuck out of it, but it was like, okay, it's really getting the fuck out there now. Like everyone's involved. Every single fucking person is involved in Italy. Like everyone's an assassin. But it kind of broke away. It made me realize it's like, it's getting a little bit unbelievable. But I did like, before that ends, what was I going to say? Shit.
They should make a TV show called The Continental. I totally agree with you. And it should be like up in politics.
I would actually
be
watch
like, oh my God.
I won't see
They're actually doing that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
They're actually doing it.
I will watch this show. This is like, I don't even care if it's violent. I don't even care if it's like assassin based. I will watch a show just based on the Continental ins and outs. Like that to me is so interesting. Have anyone seen the show Blacklist? It's very similar kind of in feeling to that kind of concept.
I agree.
Early seasons of Blacklist before it got weird. But anyway.
I like that, Sean. It reminded me of Blacklist. I also, the first time ever, I was a little tired of people getting killed though. By the end of the movie, I was like, okay. Like I'm a little over it now.
How many people is he going to go through to get to this one guy? Like, I mean, come on.
Are you saying that this movie is a little unbelievable?
It got to
yep, me too.
No, I just see.
Yeah, it's called a movie.
I just saw him. He's not a quitter. He's going to go for it. You know,
the Legend of John Wick.
Respect that.
Rides deep and thick.
The Legend of John Wick. Man.
I saw
the man, the myth, the
out.
legend.
So there you go.
Yes.
And the fact that he kills people with a pencil to me it adds to it.
He actually, hey, speaking of Born Identity, he actually kills a man with a book. Next movie.
Oh well, Born Identity, he kills him with a magazine.
Nice,
and that was badass. I like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if Born Identity would have just held the camera steady, I would have watched the series. But I can't do it. I just can't do it. I tried again, and I got like 5 minutes in. I tried 5 minutes in. I was like, you know what? This is like Cloverfield. I can't watch the fucking movie. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
And that brings us to the end of review. Hey, it's okay, guys. It's okay. Hey, that brings us to the end of review. Now it's time in the podcast where each of the hosts provides the score of the following scale. Eddie, can you provide the scale, man?
The perfect movie. You don't need shit to enjoy it. 1, a feel-good first cocktail. 2, a happy buzz. 3, you're going to Uber or Lyft in home. 4, a rough morning walk of shame. 5, blackout, shit-faced, spring break drunk. How are we doing this? Because it's 2 movies. First movie first?
I think overall.
Yeah, we just
Okay.
I would say that you just give both your scores. You do a review of both movies and give both your scores.
This is a movie.
All right,
it's
go
a
ahead.
series that I recommend that anyone should have. You have to watch this series. Like you have to watch the every chapter. It's very enjoyable for just maybe a couple movie, but I wouldn't say don't bring the kids into this. It's definitely not a kid friendly movie. So, but it's a badass movie, man. John Wick is a badass assassin. Like. He's in the same level as Jason Bourne to me. Like I enjoy this movie. I can watch John Wick. 1 went down so fast. 2, I didn't realize how many people he killed until I had to look it up, and then I was just like, okay, everyone's involved. It got to me a little bit. So for me, it was something that I do consider. Like I have the collection of John Wicks. I like the way he dresses. I like the Continental. The vibe of the movie is cool, and that says a lot. Like even the score is really cool. Like you get this spaghetti western, and then you have like also Enter the Dragon. Like they're hitting so many different keys and old school movies and vibes. The cars are legit. Everything is cool. Like it was a lot of detail to this movie. So I like the first movie better than the second movie. So my first John Wick is going to be a 1.5. It's going to be a feel-good first cocktail with a half a shot. Yep, I think it's better than the fucking Matrix, and the Matrix is a 1.75. Like I think it's better. It's ahead of its time at that time. I think the second one had less of a story, and he was just around like on the circus, like is this like who he's the until nets, and he just it was cool more about the Continental, but at the same time, the very best part of the movie for me was that interaction with Common. And then also, I guess you can say Winston was really badass. You get more of him, but Common and John Wick, that Keanu Reeves or Keanu, I forgot his last name, Reeves. That was the whole part for me for part 2, John Wick Chapter 2. Was I liked that the whole scene. As soon as he died, I got a little sad, and then I was like, okay, Robert, let's wrap it up and kill this motherfucker. The second one is still, I think, better than the average movie. So I'm going to give a 2.25. So that's a happy buzz with a little bit of a taper over to that before half a shot. So it's 1.5 and a 2.25.
All right. Brandon, you want to go?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna paint this one with truth and opinion. I hated these movies. It was a struggle. It was something that I literally found zero enjoyment in, because honestly, to me, it's not fun watching 3.5 hours straight of a guy killing 400 people. I mean, I know that's not the real numbers, but it seemed like it. I'm not trying to be all prudish and everything, but it's like, do we need a movie that just literally glorifies the fact that we can just blow up people's heads without any kind of reason to really give a shit? And I just didn't find that I cared. It was similar to Die Hard, but the only thing that saves this is that I like Keanu Reeves and I like Ian McShane, and I like Common a lot. So I didn't find this to be good. I didn't find this to be enjoyable. Yeah, I am interested in the Continental, but guess what? As soon as we stop recording, I'm going to stop giving a shit about it and move on to happier, more exciting things. I appreciated the choreography. I think that, choreography and fighting in movies is severely underrated. And I think this movie did it fucking amazing. I combine these two because in a lot of ways I look at them as just one continuous movie. I think that at the same time that we're praising this for taking leaps and bounds in the action genre, nothing here did I see that I haven't seen before. And the only thing I think that I saw was just more and more and more of it, so that they were just like thrown on top of it. And like I said earlier, it's not a joke. I got desensitized to any kind of excitement to this movie because it's just nonstop action packed. Now it's not a surprise that I just don't like action movies. I think that they're just bleh to me. And I know that this is a good action movie, so I realize that there is an audience for this, and I appreciate the fact that you guys are that audience. Just for me, it's not. I would have rather had just a barrel of alcohol to just literally swim in. That might have gotten me through this movie a little bit more happy. At the same time, because it had some actors that I really do appreciate and I really do respect as actors and people. This one saves it where, Die Hard definitely didn't. So John Wick 1 is a 4 and John Wick 2 is a 3.5. The only reason it got a 3.5 is because there's some story purpose. And the only reason that it didn't get a 6, which is what I wanted to give it, is because I really respect the shit out of some of these actors. Sean, shake your head. Give us your scores.
Well, you're just so dismissive of this was not a bad movie. This was by no means an offensive movie. It was to me to score that low or that high.
Was it enjoyable?
It's got to be offensively bad.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, I mean it was fine. It was nothing. There was nothing. Okay. Yeah, there was. I mean, anyway, these movies are completely enjoyable, completely watchable. They're brainless, mindless, action-packed, wonderfully fun movies. And you get to see Keanu Reeves kick ass for 2 hours. And they're light and airy, and there's nothing earth-shattering about them. They're not. Okay, I didn't talk when you talked. There's nothing offensive. There's nothing you sitting down to watch these movies. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy 2 hours of your life. You're going to move on. Are you going to think about it for the next 16 hours? No, but they're fun. They're fucking fun action movies. They're no different than a lot of other action movies. The Kingsman, it's not revolutionary. They're just fucking fun. And to me, that is valuable. What this movie, I think, did successfully is that both of them created a world that I'm interested in. I want to know more about the Continental. I want to know more about Ian McShane's character. I want to get to number 3 and number 4, and I want to expand the universe. And that, is it a waste of time? No, it's not earth shattering. So I think they're average to above average movies. I give the first one a 1.75. I think it's got for a revenge movie, for a basically a Count of Monte Cristo type movie, is very good. He kills a bunch of people in a very interesting way. It's a straight up revenge. There's not a lot of time for extra story. I thought the second one got convoluted in story. I thought there was too much going on. It was too hard to follow. I would have much rather a simplified version. I thought Lawrence Fishburne was really good in the second one. I thought, once again, the expansion of the Continental atmosphere, the assassins, super interesting. I want to know more. But I'm going to give it a 2.0. It's definitely an above average movie. Both these movies are above average movies. They're not earth shattering. They're not zeros, but they're fun. I much would prefer watching John Wick to the Matrix Revolutions or the Matrix, the second or third Matrix.
What about the first one?
I mean, honestly, and those cost $1 billion to make. The first one was earth shattering. The first one was very unique and artistic, but the second and third were dog shit. I mean, the first Mummy was good, and the second was okay. The third one was god awful. These are pretty consistently okay movies. So, yeah. Anyway, those are my scores. Jeremiah.
I just think I think the John Wick films changed the way how we watch action movies. Brandon may not think he's praising a lot of these type of films. I think John Wick kind of changed everything how we do things with action films. That they're crazy, they're thrilling. It's pure joy, fucking entertaining, man. I mean, the first film was a surprise of its own when you think about it. It brought back Reeves from the loss of found of Hollywood, and it introduced a new character that's beyond iconic now. You know who John Wick is. He's fucking Legends of Legends and everything like that. He's badass. And I think the first film was able to capture that, Chapter 2, again, for me, I feel like it's one of those rare sequels that it's better than the original. I mean, the action sequence is just masterfully stylized with beautiful, choreographic scenes that I've never seen before. It's bloody violent, but in a graphic novel vibe, but it's done in a very cool art form style. And I just love that. Chapter 1, I have to say, is kind of a letdown, just the ending part, because I wanted something bigger. I just thought it was going to be something bigger and something huge and whatnot, Chapter 2 raises that bar and it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and it delivers it in such a way that I think it just made me a John Wicker for life, man. So for me, the first one is a 2 drink. It's a happy buzz. The second one for me is a 1.25. It's a feel good cocktail with a little added shot with it, man, because I think both films are fucking fun, dude. They're a fun film to watch. And the top of it, the third one, it's like the icing on the cake, man. And I cannot wait for John Wick 4, because it's just going to be like this crazy introduce of another part of the universe that I can't wait to see it, man. So yeah, that's my score.
So when we take the scores, let's do John Wick first chapter first. When you take those scores and divide by 4, what does that give John Wick an average rating of?
I've got the numbers.
John Wick. Yeah, I'm gonna say you add all 4. It's a 2.3125.
2.3.
2.3.
A 2.3125.
And Jeremiah, where does that put us on our list of reviewed films?
It ties Batman, actually. The new Batman that just came out recently.
I am vengeance.
Yeah, it's the same score. It's the same score. So it's tied for, I think, either 28th or 29th. No, it's below 28th. So that's where.
So what's above it? What's better than John Wick?
Hocus Pocus, Birdcage, Black Panther, Twilight, Christmas Vacation, and Tombstone.
And what's worse?
North by Northwest, Die Hard, Harry Potter, and
Point Break.
No,
Harry Potter.
Yeah,
We were hard on Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is worse.
What's Harry Potter
It
we
wasn't
do?
the first one.
We're not
the
talking
first one.
about
It wasn't that good.
yeah. I don't know where you're going with that one, dude. The first one's not that great.
No, the first one's not that good.
Independence Day, though.
So what's-
All right.
Like, John
what's the
Wick is
second
better
one?
than Independence Day.
No.
That's what I feel like.
No.
Yeah.
What's the second one?
All right, so let's do John Wick chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
When you take all 4 of those scores and divide by 4, Eddie, what does that give us for chapter 2?
Chapter 2, John Wick, gives us a 2.25.
So pretty average. I
That's
think
about where it should be, right?
Oh, Jeremy, where does that put us on the list?
It ties in 27th, actually. Tombstone, Christmas Vacation, Twilight, Black Panther. It's just right there,
It's right above average. It's a little bit above average movie, which is where it should be. I'm sorry, Brandon, but it should be there.
You said it best.
I made it
It's one of
so
those
with my
movies-
scores.
You said it best. It's one of those movies that, like, I'm going to enjoy watching it, and after that, I'm just going to move on with my day.
Yeah, if it's on like Peacock or something like that, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna watch this John Wick movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll watch him kill 84 people
I'm
today.
feeling,
Right now.
I'm feeling so shitty right now. I just want to fucking watch someone kick some ass.
Is it better than The Big Lebowski?
Wait, is it better than
Is it better than Point Break?
better than
Hell
Big
yes.
Fish?
You know, well, Big
son of a
Fish, we
gun.
don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't know.
Son of a
No one
gun.
knows.
But here's the
No
big
one really
question,
knows.
Brandon.
I give you
Here's
love,
the big question:
and you break my
is
heart.
when is Brian Cox going to be added to the cast?
Listen,
That's
if Brian Cox, and I'm saying this on record right now, if Brian Cox joins this franchise, I will buy every single one of them on
You're on.
4K, and I will watch them.
Yeah, you will.
all right. If you enjoyed our review or a fan of the podcast, we ask that you please subscribe wherever you're listening. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. You can also find us on Instagram at the Gentleman Podcast. The dot means a lot. You can visit our website, thegentlemanpodcast.com. And if you want to reach out to us, you could do so by email at hosts with an S, HOSTS at thegentlemanpodcast.com. Jeremy has one more thing.
Yeah,
and then
I
we're
just
gonna
want to talk to our
cheers.
listeners and everything like that. We're so thankful for you guys downloading our episodes and everything like that. All I'm asking is this, guys. If you have 2 friends, just share our podcast to 2 of your friends. Just 2 of your friends next week, it goes a very long ways, and we'll be beyond grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? That's it, guys. We're so grateful for everything.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all, and cheers, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Even if they're not friends, still, sheriffs.
Yeah, just acquaintances. Just
Even if
I
they're
mean,
like
2
2
coworkers.
assassins.
Right?
Oh God, we can move on.
Cheers,
we
guys.
can move on from this.
Cheers, gentlemen.
That's a really good episode,
This-
guys.
This drink was really good, though. I'm not gonna lie. This drink was The pencil made it.
Bourbon's
really good.
fucking great.
Maraschino cherry.
Yes.
Yeah, which-
Does it have to be a number 2? What if it's not a number 2?
do they? I don't think they make many pencils that aren't number 2 anymore.
It ain't a pencil if it's not a
Is there a
number
number
two.
one
I think it's a
pencil?
perfect.
Yeah,